everybody so much for joining us all here today at Dunwoody Golf Course to celebrate Heather and Rob. Are you excited to bring in your wedding party? That is what I want to hear. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to the Torgo Entertainment YouTube channel. Torgo here. Welcome back to another gig log, and welcome back to the first wedding gig log for Torgo Entertainment for 2023.
You believe I didn't bring anything to wear to a wedding?
It wasn't supposed to be a wedding. Doesn't look like a rental.
So yes, I had a couple smaller scale gig logs, and we kick off the wedding season at the end of April. A little earlier than typical, but you know, sometimes this happens, and I actually have 2 weddings this weekend. But this video will only pertain to the first one, so today we celebrate the wedding of Rob and Heather. And I say today, even though the wedding is actually tomorrow, I'm filming this on Friday evening. And the reason I'm filming this early is because for this wedding, I need to head to Dunwoody Golf Course in Yonkers, New York. Let's go to the map and show you exactly where that is. It's a good 4-hour drive away. You may be asking yourself, why are you traveling so far for this wedding? Well, you may recall at the beginning of 2022, I did 4 wedding expos that were kind of far away from here, just to kind of test out the waters, coming off the heels of the peak of the COVID scare. I wanted to see if other markets were doing just as well, you know, maybe incorporating the fact that even with my travel fees included, maybe it would still work out. So I did those 4 expos, and I ended up booking 3 weddings from them, total. So I came out a little bit ahead. One of those weddings was Brandon and Juliana's wedding from last year. That was the 3rd of the triple. You may recall that from October of last year. And then we have this one. This was the lone wedding that I booked from the Westchester Bridal Expo in January of last year. I say I booked. Honestly, Rachel did most of the work for this one. I was talking to Rob, she was talking to Heather, and we just kind of handled it really well. Which is nice because only like 10 people went to that bridal expo because it was in the middle of a snowstorm at the end of January. Getting down there was mighty perilous. And I find it a little amusing that the company who ran 3 of those bridal expos just put out an email flyer saying for 2022 and 2023, we had 30% greater attendance than in 2021. Well, gee, I wonder why that would be. Nevertheless, Rachel was very excited to do these weddings with me, but unfortunately, she will be staying home this weekend because she sprained her ankle. I'm not about to have somebody work when they are injured. I can handle this myself, especially because both of the weddings this weekend have no lighting whatsoever. They went with the smallest package, and that makes sense. I know some DJs are like, well, why don't you just offer something? The lights would look really stupid because both of the weddings this weekend are earlier. Rob and Heather's wedding, 3 to 8 p.m. And because I have a brand new venue, I made my way out there about 2 months ago to check it out. Let's go case the joint.
I thought you said the library was closed, Frank.
This is what they call casing.
Got a bar just like in The Shining. I'm gonna be next to this pillar right here. There's power right at the base of it, no problems there. Rob and Heather will be right here. They'll set the table up right here. Right there. Cocktail hour will be out here, so we just set up a speaker. No problems there. Speaker with tablet, that'll be fine. Might actually be worth it to just run it off the main setup because it's so close. And decent sized dance floor. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, one other thing, the load-in is through this door right here. So when you get to the building, I would drive around the right side and pull up right here. Can't ask for a much easier load-in than this.
So you can see, even if it was darker, the windows would not be doing me any favors with lighting, so it made sense that they didn't go with anything. And there probably won't be that much dancing at this wedding. A lot of the music that they wanted is a wide array, a lot of rock, some 70s and 80s stuff. So I'm hoping it's gonna be a good time, and I think it will. but don't expect a very animated gig log when it comes to dance floor time. And we're just handling cocktail hour and reception for this one. Ceremony is happening at a chapel well before I need to even be doing anything. The setup is pretty self-explanatory. One setup for reception, and for cocktail hour, they're gonna have it in there, and if it's nice out, we're gonna have one of my Bose S1 Pro speakers remotely outside, and I can just use the Sennheiser Bluetooth transmitter to get the sound out there. So really, not that big of a deal. So I hope you're ready for this one. It should be a good time and nice way to kick off the wedding season. Let's go!
So yeah, it rained the entire 4-hour drive, more or less. I actually had to pull over a couple times because the rain was that bad and my visibility was shot. But the aerial photograph of this venue is not difficult at all. We have the blue icon thanks to Google Maps, and that is where I'm going to be, so I don't need to add any lines or anything. So the load-in's simple. Well, it would be simple. But of course, when you have downpours going on, you know, everyone wants to be a DJ until they get weather like this, and then you gotta load in. But everything's in from the car. It's 12:45. I would have been here earlier, but people don't know how to drive in the rain. Let's get to work. Shout out all my other wedding DJs, tech warriors, roadies, all you people that have to do this stuff in the inclement weather. You know how we roll. We're gonna start things off. I ended up putting the camera over here. We have the Panasonic 4K camcorder. I need to get a new one of these things. I love this camera very much, but the battery life is terrible. It's only an hour and a half. And here we have the Manfrotto tripod, which is broken. I need to replace that as well. One of the legs has a very hard time extending. So over here, right next to the dance floor, we have the DJ setup. Great location for me. It makes the most sense. And on the sides, of course, we have the Bose F1 812 series, the subwoofer, and then we have the attachment on the back of the subwoofer, which acts as the post, if you will, and then we have the tops. Love these speakers to death. I cannot speak highly of them enough. And here we have the Infinity XL DJ rig from Danny Max. It has pretty much everything in the inside. It comes apart at the legs. Easy to move. We have my antenna for my ULXD microphones. I have them mounted right there. I had to buy the extra Shure microphone mounting kit. It's like $150 on the Shure website, not a big deal. We have my 2 Allendale Defenders, just because I wanted it to be abundantly clear that that's where the power was, especially with the food behind me using those other plugs. So that's why I have those outlined the way that they are. We have my Furman power conditioners. I need to figure out a better way to display these because I obviously couldn't tape on the carpet. The venue wouldn't really allow that. But that red tipped plug is for the power for the boards and whatnot, and the other plugs are for speakers mostly. Here we have my Audio-Technica ATH M50X headphones, one of the microphones on the Shure ULXD microphone rack. We have batteries on top of one and business cards on the other. We have the Radial 2-to-1 mixer in this pocket for the microphones for individual volume control. And we have the SanDisk 2TB solid-state hard drive with all the music on it. Here we have my anti-fatigue mat. It was a little bit of a nappy carpet, so I had to have that. And the Roland DJ 808 board. On one shelf, we have my clipboard with the itinerary. Always print out multiple copies, one for you, one for the event coordinator. And we have the Samsung Odyssey Z notebook running Virtual DJ 2021. The 3 cords, we have the USB, the power cord, and here we have some dongles so you can charge stuff. Make sure you disable the notification sounds on your laptop before you do this because you don't want to hear don 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 whenever you plug in any device like your phone or a tablet or whatever. So that pretty much runs the gamut of everything that I brought. But one thing I noticed before we got started, everything's all set up and you look in the rafters, this venue doesn't clean up very well because we have a bunch of balloons. We have old balloons, new balloons, torn balloons, banana balloons from all sorts of events that they have, from graduation parties, retirement parties, and whatnot. And it's all right over the dance floor, so I'm really hoping nothing decides to fall. So who knows what's going to happen. We only have time for one more thing, and that's leveling up.
これより切除手術を開始する。
Let's go.
First up, make some noise for Debbie Nambiaparabil and Joe Pedroza. Look at that. Keep it going for Rebecca Patel and Artie Witten. Next on the docket, keep it going for Maria Schmidt and Ronnie Kochnick. Next I have what I like to call the VIPs for our wedding party. Very important people in their lives. So I want you to make some noise for Colleen Deary and James Dale. James, I want you to settle down just a little bit. It's a bit much. Well, the families are in attendance, our wedding party is in attendance, our VIPs are in attendance. We are just missing 2 people. If you have the means to do so, I ask that you please stand to receive our newlyweds. The reason why we are all here today. Make some noise for your newlyweds, Heather and Rob Spina! Heather and Rob have decided to move directly into their first dance as husband and wife. It will not be to Billy Idol, unfortunately. That would be something. They've chosen a song very special to the 2 of them. This is by Jeffrey Osborne. It is called On the Wings of Love. Make some noise for your newlyweds, everyone. So to kick things off, I'm going to invite the best man, James, back on up here. Or somebody who come up and said he was still writing it as he was coming up here.
Still writing it, Michael.
And then he just turns with you to the microphone and says, "Top that." You have 2 different sides to this story, I see you. Fairly often, but never in my 13 years have I ever seen anybody twerk to shout. Until today. Just as the Isley Brothers intended when they wrote this song in 1959.
by Heather's brother. Again, who's going uh-oh every time I say who requested the song? Heather said uh-oh? Well, we'll see. We'll see. He's not even paying attention that I'm playing this song.
The morning after. Obviously, I'm in a hotel right now. I'm in Coxsackie, New York, 2 hours north of Yonkers, because I needed to get a hotel in between yesterday's wedding, the one that you just saw, and today's wedding, the one that you'll see in the next video. But overall, Rob and Heather's wedding went really well. None of the balloons fell. I was a little bit concerned about that. 3 to 8 is an unusual time for a wedding, but fortunately, the rain kind of helped us out because people didn't want to scamper outside. People didn't want to enjoy the weather. Oftentimes, when you have a wedding venue with so much outdoor space, people are inclined, especially in the summer months, to kind of take it in, enjoy the day. And sometimes that's nice, but it doesn't really bode well for what we're trying to do as wedding DJs. So everybody was confined inside the building. And it worked out really well. Rob and Heather were dancing pretty much the entire time, but the rest of the crowd, with a lot of older people and a lot of people that hadn't seen each other in a while, there was just a lot of conversation going on. So the dancing was intermittent. You can't have a packed dance floor 24/7. People need breaks, especially when you have older crowds, some people with mobility issues. But overall, things went fine. Everyone was complimenting me. I have never received more compliments about my DJ setup than I did yesterday. People love the furniture. People love the infinity case. So it works out well and it holds everything just fine. A playlist will be at the tail end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. The next video you will see will obviously be the gig log that I'm filming today for Izzy and Beth. But until then, I'm Torgo of Torgo Entertainment, and I'll see you at the next gig. Take care. I'm gonna try to walk back super smooth, but there's a bed in the way, so just pretend that this bed is not here, you know? It's gonna look great.